Okay, so today's Take 10 at 10 is all about making a copy of a file, specifically a Google form that has been shared with you, and how you can make that copy and send it out to people so that they don't actually become collaborators in the Google form. So Brian, do you want to take that away, please?
Sounds good. Good morning, everybody. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and show you how to go through those steps of sharing a Google form out with your staff. This might look a little weird while I share my screen. Okay, so I'm in my Google Drive. And so the example that Oliver gave was that there's, for the RMS or for your SIP planning, there's a Google form that's been created collaboratively, and you want to be able to make your own copy to share it with your own staff. So the example that we're going to use is a form that came out from Oliver this morning. This one happens to be for elementary teachers, elementary principals to share out with their teaching staff for the RMS, but the same thing could be done for secondary principals related to SIP planning. So here in my shared with me, so I was in my Drive, and I moved to my shared with me. And this Google form is sitting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it. And I'm going to make a copy, okay? Because I don't want to mess with and I don't want to change the original Google form, but I'm going to make a copy of my own. So when I click make a copy, I get a little prompt here at the bottom of my screen. It says it's been made. And if I want to go and work on it right now, I can press locate, and it'll take me to the place in my Drive where that was made. If I missed pressing locate, like I just did, I can also go find it by going into my Drive and searching alphabetically. And it starts with the word copy. Okay, so I can scroll down and find this copy of the form that was made. So the first thing I want to do is rename it. So I can do that two ways. I can right click on it and it'll pop up and say rename. So if I click on that, I'll want to get rid of the words copy of. And here I've been prompted to add my school name in there. So I'm just going to use Walter Zato as an example and press OK. Yeah. So now I can see that that name's been changed. If I open the form, I can also change it manually inside. I'll just let it load for a second by clicking on and editing the title. Okay, so I can go up here and I could change that again if I needed to by typing that. Okay, and again, I might want to change the title of the form. In this place, this is what the person filling it out will see. So there we go, and I'll get rid of some of this to tidy it up. Okay, so that looks good. So now it's ready for me to share with my staff. I'm not messing with the original form, which is great. This is the one that I'm going to use with my staff, or of course you will. So now we're going to send it out. You want to send using the send button. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is to press the send icon or button, and you can send it as an email to your whole school group. And in the case of Walter Zato, if you type the 3-letter school code, you'll see that that teaching list comes up. If you need it to go to all staff, then you can type all staff. But this is how you could share it through an email to that group. The other thing that you could do if you wanted to was to get a link to the form. So if you had a message that you wanted to send to the teachers with some instructions first, you could copy and paste that link to the form into an email, again, sent to the whole staff. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel that for now. Okay, what you don't want to do, however, is you don't want to, under the menu here, you don't want to add your teachers as collaborators, because that will give them the ability to edit the questions, and that gets a little messy when people think they're filling out a form, but they're actually editing the existing form. The other thing that you probably don't want to do is to share the form from your Google Drive. This is a common error that people make. If you try and share it from here, people are going to be added again as collaborators, and you want them to fill out the form, not to make changes to it. Okay, so the final thing that we want to do here is move this form, this copy that I made, into a place in my drive that's a better location. I want to organize it a bit. So my best option is to right-click from my drive, right-click on it, choose Move To, okay, and I'll find the folder that I want it to go into. For me, I want it to go into this Take 10 at 10 folder, so I'll just say move over there. Okay, so that gets the form from the shared with me, a copy gets made in my drive, I can make changes to it, and then I can move it into a folder so that I'm nice and organized. Okay, so I'm going to flip back here to the Hangout and see if there's any questions or anything else that people need to hear.
Okay, actually, Brian, do you mind, can you share your screen quickly again and just show where teachers, or sorry, principals can see the responses?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I just need to share my screen again. Just take a sec. And okay, here we go. So now I need to go back to that form that's now in the Take 10 at 10 folder. And I'll open it up. This is a really good question. So right now I'm looking at the questions. I'm looking at the editable version of my form. Okay, this is where I can make changes. If I want to see what it looks like where people will be answering questions, I can click on this preview icon and it opens the version that teachers or participants would see when they're filling it out. Okay, when people fill it out, sorry, I'm clicking quickly here, I'll slow down. When people fill it out using the link that we sent them, those responses will start accumulating here under responses. Right now, no one's filled out my form, but you'll start seeing them in here. And what's great about forms is that it summarizes them where possible in charts and graphs. If I want to see a full spreadsheet of all the responses, if I wanted to see that raw data, I can click on this Create Spreadsheet and it'll open a new spreadsheet for me in that same folder that my form lives in. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
Okay, yep, that's perfect, Brian. Thank you very much. So we have about 2 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, you can use the chat box by hovering your mouse over top of the left-hand side of the Google Hangout screen. And there's a little chat icon at the very top. If you click on it, it will open up a chat window on the right-hand side, and you can type your questions in there. But we will we'll hang out here for another couple minutes just to see if anybody else has questions. If not, thank you very much, everybody, for joining, and we hope that this was very helpful for you today.